Good morning and welcome to Wight Spokes, based here on the Isle of Wight. My name's Nick and today I'm filming from my garage actually, so excuse the background clutter, but it's blown a hoolie outside today. So I thought I'd do a brief video on the stoves that I use for backpacking stroke bike touring, bike packing. And the two stoves of choice are firstly my well proven and trusted Peak stove, a multi-fuel stove. This stove is over 30 years old. It's been to the Arctic, it's been all over Europe and Britain, and it's been trialled and tested in some pretty arduous conditions and has never let me down. I've never had to do anything to it. What I like about this stove, it's multi-fuel, so no matter where you are traveling, you will always be able to find a fuel source for it. So in the Arctic, because of the freezing conditions, you use naphtha. It's got a lower freezing point. You do have to use a paste that you put on here and just light it, and that just helps to heat the can up and help to pressurize it. You can use Coleman, have their own fuel that you can use. It's a clean burning fuel, or you can get, I use petrol if I have to, and I've got petrol in this stove at the moment for demonstration. And the one thing is, no matter where you go, you'll always be able to get hold of petrol pretty much. So that's the beauty of this stove. You've got options there for you. The downside of that is you've got to be careful how you store it. It's obviously flammable. So so you want to store it away from all your food and anything like that, so it doesn't contaminate if it does leak. But I've not had it leak before. Bottles are sealed, put them in a bag, pretty straightforward to be honest with you. Put them at the bottom of your kit if you need to. So what I like about this stove is bomb proof. Yes, it is weighty compared to the modern stoves, but it's lasted 30 years, and I imagine it can carry on another 30 to be honest with you. So it's a solid structure, you know, it's solidly built. So what you got a fuel tank here, so you put your fuel in. You've got a flame adjuster here, which high and low, so you can adjust it to cook food without burning it. And when you switch it off, it's got a cleaning port, so it cleans the injectors when it's finished. You've got a pump. You need to pressurize it, so you just undo this and pump it 25 times initially. Once it's burning, undo it a turn and pump again for about 60, then you've got a lovely pressure in there. Then that's that. And here you have your on and off switch or lever, which it normally has a little plastic tab on the end, but that's fallen off over the years. So it's pretty straightforward. So I'll give you a demonstration of that in a minute. What I like about it, it's got a wide flame, yeah, all around there. It's got a wide base, so you're not getting a heat spot on your pans. So you've got a good distribution of heat, and it's balanced. You know, when you put your pan on top of it, it's not going to fall off. It's got a nice wide base. Also, 3 collapsible legs or foldable legs, keep it nice and sturdy on the ground. So you put your fuel in, turn around, you get some pressure into it, 25 pumps thereabouts. I have had it going this morning, so it won't need quite as much. Now for lighting, a flame, matches, lighter, but I always carry a striker. Matches can get wet, yes you can. coat them in wax to, you know, waterproof them, etc. A lighter is great. Runs out of fuel. You've still got a striker on the lighter. It's all you need is a is a spark. But I've had one of these strikers for years. It's a bit thin now actually, and you get a good spark in the wet as well. So it doesn't matter with these. You'll get a spark regardless of the conditions. So that's what I use for lighting with. So I've primed it, so I've pumped it up. I've got my flame over, my flame on high. Turn it on now so the fuel pressure comes through, and a couple of strikes and we're up and running. So once it's up and running, just turn it one turn on the pump. Give it a pump for 1 minute, and that'll really build the pressure up inside the fuel tank in there. You can probably hear it roaring away now. There we have it, look. Yeah. So you've got a good flame there. Your mug will sit nicely on top of it. It's not going to fall off. Now your flame adjuster, so we're on full flame now, but this is all well and good, but if you want to cook some food you can turn it down and you've literally got so much control over the flame. So you can warm your food up if you're cooking fresh food without burning it. So this is I think this is my favourite cooker, to be honest with you, for so many reasons. It's lasted 30 years. It's multi-fuel. The flame's adjustable. Yes, just a great bit of kit. Yes, it weighs probably 3-4 times the amount of the other one with the gas. However, that weight to me is well worth carrying for the reliability of the stove, knowing that it's not going to break on me, and I can always get fuel no matter where I am. So I think out of the two, this is my favourite one. It's tried and tested. Anyway, I'll just turn this one off. So to turn it off, you just switch off the fuel supply. The flame lever goes to clean, and that's it. So that's the Peak multi-stove. Excellent bit of kit, bomb-proof. I think I think they're about £65 now new, and I'm sure they're probably made a little bit lighter than what this was 30 odd years ago, as technology's moved on with materials. But nevertheless, you know, I don't see any reason to replace this one, and it is worth the extra little bit of weight that you're carrying. And to be honest with you, I'm not a racing snake on the bike or when I'm walking, you know, so it doesn't affect my performance, put it like that. So that's the Peak. So let's put that down there. Moving on, this is the Primus Micron Trail. As you can see, it screws onto the top of the gas canister. It folds down to nothing. So you know, it's grams. Ideal if you are concerned about weight. However, I've had this a year, and it's got a Prezzo igniter, so it automatically ignites. That was the first thing that packed up on it, so that doesn't work. Secondly, the moulding of it has cracked here, so as you can see, it's wobbly, so I need to super glue that. So from a robustness point of view, you've got to be really careful how you pack this and where you pack it. It's not up to much of a bashing. So it screws onto, I've got a Coleman stove gas canister there, so it screws onto that. I've got collapsible legs to support the gas canister to keep it stable when I'm cooking. What you'll notice about this one is it's got a smaller flame area, but it's bigger than the jet boil flames, stoves. So you don't get so much of a heat spot. So if you are cooking fresh food, it will still warm the pan nicely, and you've got a flame adjuster as well, so you're not burning. So that's what I like about it. The flame is, you can adjust the flame, which is great. So if you're boiling water, you can have it up full. If you're cooking fresh food, then you can have it down lower so it doesn't burn. Okay, so this one is quite simple. You just turn the lever on, you've got the gas coming out. And there we go. So the flame adjuster here, get a good flame, it boil a litre of water in 2.5 minutes. Nice clean burning. Whenever you're doing your cooking, if you are in a tent, just a safety point, please make sure you've got ventilation. I think most people would know that. However, accidents do happen. So yeah, have a ventilated tent for cooking when you're using the stove, and also just be careful you don't set your tent on fire. Sometimes you get a flare up. So yeah, so that's the Micron trail, the Primus Micron trail. I'll turn that off. And that's my peak. If I'm going away literally overnight, very short trip, I'll take this one. If I was going to go away for an extended trip, I would take the peak, and I would suffer the extra weight because it's not suffering at all, to be honest with you. What I use for cooking is I got a titanium mug that I boil my water up in, and for most people, I think I use dehydrated foods, so it's more of a question of just boiling water up, opening the packet and tipping it in. So titanium mug's great for that. Boil the water up, tip it in, boil up another cup and have a brew. If I am cooking fresh food, I use this Sea to Summit. It's a collapsible cooking pan. It's silicone. It's got a lid with a strainer, which is great actually for straining if you're cooking rice. And it just literally pops out. Brilliant, yeah. So that sits nicely on there, sits nicely on there, and that's 1.25 litres in here. So yeah, the only thing you've got to be careful of is when you are cooking, the flame does not come up around the outside of the base and up around the silicone, because it'll burn it. So just be careful with that. And it, at the end of the day, it packs flat. Got your lid. It takes up hardly any space. So Sea to Summit, brilliant bit of kit, like that. So that's it. That's my cooking system, as they call it, I suppose. One pan, one mug, and that does me. So that's my review. Yeah, I think what I've said speaks volumes really for something that's robust and solid like the Peak stove. I hope you found this useful, and I shall be putting another short clip up on the tent that I use. So thank you for watching, and it's goodbye from Wight Spokes here on the Isle of Wight. I'm Nick, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you.